What's up, YouTube? This is my first video. I go by TJ for the ones that don't know. Yes, I'm a DJ, no life sports better. But in all seriousness, the purpose of this video is to show you guys, well, to help you guys make smarter bets and start cashing out a lot more. So I'll be showing you the strategy that I use and the strategy that has helped me cash out 10 slips in a row in the last 3 days, hitting for 20 units. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so the first thing that we'll be talking about is valuable one valuable props. Excuse me for the bad handwriting. But we'll be talking about valuable props. Now, what is a valuable prop? A valuable prop is when a line is set incorrectly by the sports books. Now, this happened when the line is set too high or too low based off the player's overall performance. Now, if you get good at spotting valuable props, spotting props that have value to it, you'll start making a lot more smarter bets and start cashing out a lot more. So, how do you spot a valuable prop? Let's say tonight LeBron James' line is set at 25.5. LeBron has played 35 games this season. Out of the 35 games that he's played, he's only went over 28.5 9 times. Now, by the looks of this already looks like a free under, right? There's no reason why you should go over on this. All the value is clearly under, right? So we go back and we look at these 35 games and we see where his line was previously set. So we see that LeBron James' line previously was around like 25.5, right? And out of the 35 games that LeBron James has played, he does a little better with this 25.5, and let's say he goes over 12 times, right? Now, if we compare his previous line to his current line, we can see that this is priced way too high, way too high. But the trap that everybody falls for on prospects is the last five, of course, right? So they have 28.5, and once again, they only show the last 5 games. So let's say out of his last 5 games, we already know that he's only went over this line 9 times. 9 times, but they show the last 5. So let's say his last 5 games, he's been killing. So it'll look something like this: 3-5 or either 4-5. Now, if you see these numbers, this will look like this prop is going over. Based off the last 5 games, it look like this prop is going under. But once again, this is why the last 5 is bad. It's bad to just focus on the last 5 because it's not enough data to let you know whether the prop has value to it or not. But when you're looking for props, always compare the current line to the previous line to get a feel to see where if the prop is set too high or set too low. Okay, so now you have your prop and you think this prop line is either set too high or too low. So now we want to see, does this prop really has value to it or not? So the next thing you want to do is look at the player projections. Now, what are projections? Projections are predictions made on how the player would do in the game based off the player overall performance, team play, opposing team, and other important details that goes into that. So if we're looking at a player to go over, you will come across a projection that looks something similar to this. You'll come across a projection that looks something similar to this. This is plus 2.5. So what is this telling us? This is telling us that this prop is looking to go over its original line by 2.5 points. So back to LeBron James. So back to LeBron. If LeBron line was set tonight at 25 flat and his projections are plus 2.5 plus 2.5, then that means LeBron James is projected to score 27.5 points. Now, this is a strong bet. This has value to it. Now, if we're looking at an under, you will come across something that looks similar to this. Oh, 1 second, messed up. Negative 2.5. So what is this telling us? This is telling us that this prop is projected to go under his original line by 2.5 points. So if LeBron tonight was that if LeBron was at 27.5 points tonight, that means LeBron James is projected to score 25, 25 points, right? So when it comes to projections, you always want to take projections that's 1.5 or greater. You don't want to take anything lower than that. So let's say if LeBron was projected, right? We have projections at plus zero point 0.5. And LeBron James' line is at 25 flat tonight. And his projections is plus zero point 0.5. This is no value. Why? Because that means LeBron James is only projected to score 25.5 points. It's only a zero point 0.5 difference. So that's really no value. When you're looking at projections and when it comes to the props, you always want to take projections that are greater than 1.5. Nothing lower than that. Anything 1.5 or greater is always good value. Okay, so now you have your prop, you looked at the projections, everything is making sense. Now you're ready to lock it in. But before you do that, there's one final thing that we must do. And I feel like this is slept on. Not many people talk about it. Not many people really do it, and that's player average, right? So we're going to use the player average to confirm whether the line is set too high or too low. So if we break everything down and we start from the beginning, hold on 1 second, we break everything down and we start from the beginning. So we start with the current line. Let's say current line is 25 and a half. No, 25 flat. And the previous line is normally set somewhere around, let's go back to 28.5, and then his projections is at plus 3.5. So he's projected to score 28.5 points. By the look of this, we already see that the line is too low, right? Based off the research that we did, we already can see that this line is too low. That we're getting this 25 at a discount, right? So when you go to look at player average, two things you want to pay attention to. And these two things are you want to pay attention to the player average on the season, and then you want to pay attention to the player average versus the team that they're facing, right? So let's say on the season, let's say he's averaging 29.8 points. And then versus this team, he's averaging 28.7 points. That's pretty much all we needed to know to confirm that this line is set too low. Current line is at 25 flat. On the season, he's averaging 29.8 points. And then versus this team, he's averaging 28.7 points. This right here shows the over, and this prop right here has value to it. Now, if we were to flip it and we were to look at an under, if the line is set at 28, let's say 28.5, right? Previous line is normally set somewhere at let's say 25.5. His projections is at, say, not plus -3. So he's projected to score, I said -3, -3. So he's projected to score 25, 25.5 points, right? So based off the looks of this looked like a strong under. Based off the research that we did, this looked like a strong under. So now it's time to confirm on the season. Let's say he's he's averaging on the season, he's averaging 24.7 versus this team. He's not doing too good. He's averaging 23.5. This lets us know that this current line is set too high. And by us taking this line under, we're locking this in at so much value. We're getting so much value from out of this play. So that brings us to the end of this video. If you learned anything from this video, feel free to drop a like and give me a subscribe. I'll be giving away more sauce like this, so be on the lookout for that. And also leave a comment below on what should I talk about next in my next video. But I catch y'all later.